All right, now
What's
here's
wrong with Halloween hoopla? Are you anti-Halloween?
No, can I tell you something? Halloween is teaching our kids to be liberals.
What are you going as this year?
No, I'm not. Hillary Clinton, frightening.
That's a cheap shot. Come on.
Well, it's the number one. It's the number one most frightening mask out there. Go look at the papers
you're
yesterday.
scared that she's going to be president of the United States.
No, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you why. Because we're teaching kids to knock on other people's doors and ask for a handout. That's how we turn.
Is Christmas a liberal holiday then?
No, but you offer gifts. You give on Christmas.
You give on Halloween.
No, you don't give. You have kids. Please, can I have some more?
It's the act of giving around. That's our producer laughing. But it's the act of giving. It's a wonderful thing. Isn't that a Christian thing to give, to share with your community?
Not teach your kids to beg.
It's not begging, because you do it too. They do it there at their homes.
Teaching your kids to beg for a handout.
Anti-Halloween. That is unfortunately all the time we have left this evening.
Lately, I've been pondering Christmas from an academic angle. Specifically, I've been looking at it sociologically. Now, one of my majors in college, besides a cultural Marxism major, was sociology. As a result, I sometimes feel like I need to reassure myself that the thousands of hours spent studying outside of class and showing up for lectures were worth it. That's not even to mention the thousands in student loans I accrued. I know that this may sound dreadfully boring. However, I really think that looking at Christmas from a sociological angle produces humor in a bemused, detached sort of way. So bear with me. I'm taking the three main paradigms of sociology and making them as entertaining as I possibly can. I'll focus on the first two very briefly. I find them to be not as amusing as the third.
Socialism has spread the shadow of human regimentation over most of the nations of the earth, and the shadow is encroaching upon our own liberty.
Let's start with the symbolic interactionist view of Christmas. Being the significant cultural event that Christmas is, it's driven by strong symbolism. And note that there are religious and secular symbols in Christmas. This is part of why Christmas is the most popular and celebrated holiday in history. Easter is struck appealing to the religious while not really selling itself to secular people particularly well with the Easter Bunny. The 4th of July is a state holiday that has only tangential significance to the religious. Anthropologists like David Graeber and Marcel Mauss have noted that gift-giving is a symbolic act. It's part of an emotional economy that exists between family and close friends. For now, that's all I really have to say about the symbolism of Christmas. If you'd like to discuss it further with me, feel free to comment below.
The socialists among us seek to bring about a gradual change in our system by gradually destroying the principle of the private ownership of property and substituting the socialist principle of government ownership.
Next, I'd like to look at Christmas from a structural functionalist angle. For the sake of brevity, I'm not going to get into too much detail. This paradigm focuses on the interplay between institutions and society. Structuralism assumes that institutions exist to meet people's needs. A change in one institution nearly always produces changes in others. Christmas itself is an institution. Most people assume that institutions are only contained in buildings. However, a popular definition of institutions in sociology defines them as stable, valued, recurring patterns of behavior. Institutions include families, marriage, hospitals, media, sports, business and industry, criminal justice, and other human infrastructure, structure, and superstructure. Trying not to complicate things too much here. Christmas affects the institution of family. Families gather together on Christmas and get drunk off their ass on eggnog. At Christmas time, retail outlets like Walmart hire more people to meet the demand that comes with families buying each other consumers' goods for Christmas. The news media talks about Christmas. Fox News loves to talk about the war on Christmas. Think of all the Christmas television special shows you've seen. Ratings. Yes, there are many other examples. However, I'd like to transition to what I consider the most fascinating way of looking at Christmas.
And we are going to say Merry Christmas again. Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas, Evan. Happy New Year, but Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas indeed, right there from the President-elect. He says he will bring Christmas back to America. Well, Fox News' Bill O'Reilly talked about that issue of Christmas political correctness on his show last night. Watch this.
This year, the American Family Association, based in Tupelo, Mississippi, Elvis's hometown, has issued its annual Naughty or Nice list. That tells the public which businesses are Christmas-friendly and which are not. Now, for the naughty companies that kind of marginalize Christmas: Barnes & Noble, Best Buy, Foot Locker.
Next, I'm going to look at Christmas from a conflict theory perspective. This school of social theory shows how societal changes are fueled by conflicts between groups. People make the mistake of thinking that this school always has a leftist political orientation, and that the observations and evidence put forward with this methodology call for change. This is a mistake. In contrast to how functionalism sees institutions as meeting people's needs, conflict theory states that institutions are used by groups with more power to control those with less power. So, in this view, Christmas can be seen as a means for wealthy business interests, like the media, to make money off of working class people. Think of all the Christian specials on TV. Likewise, parents use the idea of Santa Claus to make their children behave. Christmas, as we know today, is a product of consumer capitalism. This isn't a value judgment. I'm not saying it's unjust and needs to be changed. I would like to turn your attention to an article written on Christmas in the history of the United States of America. When the United States was founded, in the late 18th century, Christmas was mostly a religious holiday. There was less emphasis on gift-giving and family gatherings. This was the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. There simply were no toy factories on a large scale. The year 1843 is of great significance in understanding how traditions were invented to make Christmas profitable for business interests. First, the Christmas card was invented this year by Sir Henry Cole in the United Kingdom. He's probably the patron saint of Hallmark by now, considering he's made them billions if not trillions. The greatest irony of this year is that a book that was critical of the excesses of capitalism helped consolidate Christmas as a capitalist family holiday. Charles Dickens published his A Christmas Carol in 1843. Remember the miserly Ebenezer Scrooge and how he was visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future? Bah humbug. In fact, while the phrase Merry Christmas was around for quite some time, Dickens' A Christmas Carol made it much more popular.
Then a toast, my love, my dearies, to our Merry Christmas. God bless us.
God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
Prior to this, most people said Happy Christmas. So why is it that we here in the United States say Merry Christmas? After all, we don't say Merry Birthday, Merry Easter, or Merry 4th of July. No, we say Happy Birthday, Happy Easter, and Happy 4th of July. In the United Kingdom, to this day, Queen Elizabeth insists on saying Happy Christmas. This has been true at least since the time of Queen Victoria. Conflict theory is relevant. The word merry had, and perhaps still has, a connotation of revelry. That is, people associate drunkenness with it. The Queens insisted on saying Happy Christmas as opposed to the working class Merry Christmas because they believed that it encouraged responsible living.
I kind of laughed and I said, oh, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa, you know? And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. But, you know, Santa is what he is, and just so you know, we're just debating this because someone wrote about it, kids. Okay, I wanted to get that straight. But
it's funny how, when people who are slaves to tradition find something offensive, they just won't question their beliefs. Consider the invention of the modern Christmas tree. Western cultures brought trees into their homes during winter solstices since pagan days. However, in the Anglophone world, this practice fell largely out of practice until the 1800s. In the United Kingdom, it was all but forgotten until the Illustrated London News depicted scenes of Windsor Castle having Christmas trees. This first spread to the upper classes, then to the middle classes, and finally down to the lower classes. In the United States, the magazine Godey's Ladies Book spread this custom further. Here's a direct quote that I feel puts things into perspective. A woodcut of the British royal family with their tree at Windsor Castle was copied in Godey's at Christmas in 1850. The engraving was based on an image of Queen Victoria and her decorated Christmas tree previously published in the Illustrated London News in December 1848. The Godey's version removed Victoria's tiara and Prince Albert's mustache to remake the engraving into an American scene. It was the first widely circulated picture of a decorated evergreen Christmas tree in America, and art historian Carla Ann Marling called Prince Albert and Queen Victoria, shorn of their royal trappings, the first influential American Christmas tree. Folk culture historian Alfred Shoemaker summed up that in all of America there was no more important medium in spreading the Christmas tree in the decade 1850 to 1860 than Godey's Ladies Book. The image was reprinted in 1860, and by the 1870s, putting up a Christmas tree had become common in the United States. In passing, I would just note that Godey's and other women's magazines commodified Christmas as a lifestyle to be consumed by Christian American women. It's a long and complicated subject that I feel is far beyond the scope of this video. To end my study of conflict theory's significance to the consumer capitalist constructed traditions of Christmas, I'd like to look at Santa Claus. What's the cultural significance of Santa Claus? Does he teach kids that authority figures lie? Is the idea of Santa training wheels for radical politics? Or maybe he's just a way for parents to control their children's behaviors. One branch of conflict theory focuses on how there is conflict between generations. Just think of the conflict between boomers, Gen X, and millennials. Christmas is all about wealth redistribution. Wealthy people give to charities on Christmas. Parents redistribute their wealth to children as well as other family members and friends.
Is the presence within America of socialist and communist propagandists dedicated to the establishment of a new order. The communist fifth columnists among us are working for world dictatorship. To accomplish this, their strategy is to undermine the confidence of our people in the American system and the principles on which it stands.
So, in conclusion, I would just like to address the small subset of trolls who watch my videos. I have not stated that women were exploited by capitalism in this video. I just showed that it was mainly women who adopted our modern version of consumer capitalist Christmas to the domestic sphere. In fact, our modern version of Christmas seems to bring a great deal of happiness to children. Adults, on the other hand, seem to have a far more ambiguous relationship to Christmas. Many find it stressful. Also, I've seen many trolls claim that sociology is not a science or a legit field of study. This is only because they've been exposed to sociology they disagree with. I would recommend that they seek out conservative sociologists like Talcott Persons and William Graham Sumner. In any case, I'm grateful that you, dear viewer, have watched this video. Please feel free to comment, subscribe, and vote in this video. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year.
So this is Christmas, for weak and for strong.